Welcome back everyone, Acid-Glow here. So I'm back covering a very big topic around the Predator universe. So with the Predator species making appearances in comic books, novels, movies, and video games, one of the biggest questions around is, which Predator is the strongest? Now for this video, we're going to have a look at a bunch of Predators across different sources, and I'm going to base my final judgment on a list of categories like this. How many targets the Predator eliminated, if it made any mistakes, and if it died during its mission. So we'll start off with the first Predator movie. The Jungle Hunter proved to be very patient when stalking the Special Forces rescue team led by Dutch. The Jungle Hunter was also known to have eliminated the previous group led by Jim Hopper. Although the Jungle Hunter carefully stalked each member of Dutch's team, it seemed to always show a great sense of stealth even when it was spotted. Now during this hunt, it received minimal bullet wounds. It eventually was caught by surprise when Dutch released a lever that held a giant stone which came down and smashed upon the Predator's skull. You could say this Predator was careless, and it would have ended differently if he didn't play with its prey and just killed Dutch off quickly. Now onto Predator 2 with the City Hunter. This Predator had a lot of victims, as it killed both the Mexican and Jamaican gang members in different locations. Although this Predator did not use its cloaking ability during the meat locker scene, it still managed to use various weapons to wipe out Agent Keys and his men. This Predator was skilled with many weapons, but even with all that, it still managed to receive a lot of damage. It was hit by a shotgun, and even managed to lose its left arm. It eventually was killed by Harrigan in the Predator's ship. When Harrigan was pretending to be too injured to fight back, he kneeled down, and the Predator assumed this was the end for the human. As the City Hunter raised its arm for one final blow, Harrigan quickly rammed the smart disc into the Predator's chest. Once again, you can say this Predator was careless and should have finished off his prey much quicker. So now on to the movie Predators. This movie had 3 Predators, but I mainly want to focus on the Berserker Black Predator, which was the leader. I want to focus on this one because this one lasted the longest in the movie. Now this Black Predator barely suffered any bullet wounds, and at the end of the film, it had to fight another Predator. Now, although some sources say that Predator was younger and wasn't as experienced, even so, that Predator did put up quite a fight when they were brawling together in close-range combat. The Black Predator eventually decapitated this Predator and focused on Royce, but not before it fell into an explosive trap. Even though this explosion was extremely close to him, it seemed to do almost no damage to the Predator. Now during the battle with Royce, the Black Predator was hit on the helmet many times as it was not able to track Royce with all the fire emitting around him. Although this Predator had the chance to kill Royce, it hesitated, as if it was trying to make one final dramatic stab with its blade. When it took so long to do so, that gave Isabel a chance to shoot it with a sniper rifle. This gave Royce the time to decapitate the Black Predator. Another example of being careless and taking too long to finish off their prey. Now the movie Alien vs. Predator in 2004 also had 3 Predators. So for this one, we will focus on Scar Predator since it was the one who survived the longest. According to the story, these Predators are younger than the ones in previous films. So 2 Predators were killed off very early on due to being inexperienced against xenomorphs. So Scar Predator was also without a shoulder cannon for the first half of the film, so he had to rely on everything else they had access to. Scar displayed a great amount of skill by killing off a few humans and many aliens through the pyramid. During its rite of passage, it was shown to use the shuriken, shoulder cannon, wrist blades, various vision modes for tracking, and even a sense of honor when it chose not to kill Mr. Weyland. But that decision later changed when Mr. Weyland provoked it more with a flamethrower. Scar eventually succeeded in reclaiming his shoulder cannon, defeating xenomorphs and marking itself with their blood. Now on the surface, he then encountered the Alien Queen. Scar showed great courage, strength, and stamina during this fight, but eventually it was impaled by the Alien Queen's tail and died from its injuries. Now even if Scar survived the battle against the Alien Queen, it was going to die because it was impregnated by a facehugger from inside the pyramid. This happened when it was blooding itself and a facehugger caught him off guard without his mask. Now in the Alien vs. Predator Requiem movie, the Wolf Predator turned out to be a very experienced hunter. It was very familiar with the xenomorph species and took charge right away to equip itself with weapons required for this situation. It was also aware of the abomination known as the Pred Alien. Now, with so many xenomorphs in this small town, the wolf predator took it upon himself to deal with this matter all by himself. That showed a great amount of bravery and confidence for a single predator. Now, throughout this film, the wolf predator did kill a few humans, but was mostly focused on trying to get rid of the alien infestation while reclaiming any leftover predator technology. This predator proved to be very skilled with many weapons. Now, the Pred Alien showed to have much more brute strength than the wolf predator, and I feel that this was overwhelming him. But even with his injuries it had, the wolf predator managed to land one final death blow on the abomination. It was killed, but not before the Pred Alien impaled him in return with its own tail. Now, both targets eventually would not have survived the bomb dropped on the town, but you could say the wolf predator might have survived this battle if he chose to use all his weapons on the Pred Alien instead of disarming itself. So now on to Scarface from the video game Predator: Concrete Jungle. So this predator was banished to a planet full of hostile, deadly creatures after it failed on its hunt. After time passed by, his previous clanmates returned to see he had survived the hostile planet, armed only with a wrist blade and a spear. All this while he only had one eye, as the other one was shot by a human when he let his guard down. Now, putting all that together, he was given a chance to redeem his honor by eliminating the humans that stole his technology on his previous hunt. In doing so, he wiped them all out while at the same time eliminating 3 bad blood predators that were brainwashed. Near the end of his mission, Scarface managed to kill Hunter Borgia in his altered state. Hunter Borgia had modified his DNA to be like a predator. Scarface suffered a lot of injuries during the story, but in the end, he reclaimed his honor and managed to survive. Now, in the video game Alien vs. Predator from 2010, that predator arrived on a planet with only a helmet, with limited vision modes, wrist blades, and a shoulder cannon. The rest of his weapons were acquired from finding dead predators who were there previously. As the story unfolds, he kills off many Marines and Xenomorphs. He also encounters a Praetorian and eventually kills a Pred Alien abomination. He does manage to reclaim all of his predator technology and manages to survive with minimal damage. Now, the Predator in a video game from 2001 called Alien vs. Predator 2 had a very long mission. It was tasked with freeing any captured predators, reclaiming their technology, and wiping out the Xenomorphs and any other enemies. It managed to defeat a Praetorian early on in its mission. Along the way, it walked into a trap and was captured and disarmed. After escaping and fighting through the human facility with just its wrist blades, it managed to reclaim all of its stolen technology and escape. It later made its way through a hive and killed many aliens, along with an alien queen. As it went deeper into the hive, it tracked down Rykov and killed him while he was still inside his armored suit. This predator took back his original Predator mask and completed its mission alive. Now, Alien vs. Predator, the arcade game, is next. These predators were less stealthy than previous ones, and that's because of the game's design. They are forced to do a lot of melee combat, so throughout this story, the predator had to fight off many normal alien types, along with a few large ones that resembled Praetorians. An alien queen was defeated inside the hive, then afterwards, while traversing through a forest, they had to defeat many armed humans. This predator would also encounter bad bloods. Now, near the end of his story, an alien queen would have to be defeated again. This predator managed to wipe out a ton of aliens while escaping the massive explosion. So the next predator was the one featured in the Super Nintendo game Alien vs. Predator. This predator had to deal with a ton of aliens in his mission. It also encountered huge alien types like the gorilla alien, a flying alien, a snake alien, and even a queen alien. It did survive its mission and hopes to find more worthy prey in future hunts. And the last predator on this list is the one from the original Alien vs. Predator video game on the PC in 1999. This predator ended up killing a lot of aliens, which included facehuggers, drones, a Praetorian, a Pred Alien, and even an alien queen in the end. Along the way, it also killed many well-armed Marines. It did manage to survive its hunt. So, from looking at this list, I would have to say that the strongest and most skilled predator based on the story has to be Scarface from the video game Predator: Concrete Jungle. Now, yes, it's from a video game, But the story is what made me come to this decision. He dishonored his clan by surviving his own explosion and letting the humans take his technology. But he allowed himself to be judged and sentenced. He also managed to survive his sentence, armed only with a wrist blade and spear. Later on, he was able to redeem himself by going back to the place of his failed hunt. Scarface killed off every target on his list, and even some bad bloods that were against him. He suffered a lot of injuries throughout his story, but he regained his honor and managed to survive a mission that was his sole responsibility. The story of Scarface tells us of a predator who accepted his mistakes, but also managed to show a great amount of courage, skill, and determination to be accepted back into his clan. Now, I know there are many predators in other video games, comic books, and novels that I could not cover, but if you guys have a different choice about who is the strongest predator, then feel free to put it down in the comment section and try to leave a brief explanation as to why you chose that predator as being the strongest. I'd really like to know what your choice is. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe to see more content around the Alien and Predator universe. Thanks for watching. My name is Asaglow. I'll see you in the next video.